You've heard of lead and maybe even some of its negative health effects, and we wouldn't be surprised if you thought it was something you didn't have to worry about anymore. But it's still a thing in Missouri, and it's important to know how to deal with it, especially for some. Missouri has a long history of lead mining and production, dating back to the 1700s. This has contaminated soil and affected groundwater in much of the state, particularly in the southern portion. Missouri also still has many homes and businesses that contain lead. So, if you live in or are remodeling a home built before 1978, pay close attention to what you're about to hear. Just who is at risk? Those who spend time in dwellings built before 1978. A shocking 54% of houses in Missouri were built before 1978. Many of these houses may contain lead paint. Older plumbing can contain lead, which means your drinking water could be contaminated too. You may even be surprised at what kind of plumbing puts you at risk for lead exposure. Who else is at risk? People who work in construction, mining, and manufacturing industries that deal with batteries, ammunition, and other metal products, and their children. More on that later. These workers can breathe in or swallow lead dust when PPE is not used correctly. Over 90% of U.S. adults with elevated lead levels were exposed at work. In fact, Missouri leads the nation in the number of occupationally lead-exposed adults. And guess what? They can bring it home to their families. What can happen if I come into contact with too much lead? Lead can affect many body systems. Blood, kidneys, nervous, and reproductive systems are all at risk. Lead is particularly dangerous for children. Even a very small amount of lead is enough to poison a child. Think of one sugar packet. Spread that amount of sugar over an entire football field. Now divide the field into 1 square foot sections. The amount of sugar on just 1/4 of that square foot section is more than enough to poison a child. Even children who appear healthy can have higher than normal levels of lead in their blood, leading to behavior and learning problems, slowed growth, and anemia. But lead poisoning is preventable, and there are many measures you can take to keep you and your family safe. For additional information and videos, visit health.mo.gov/lead.